Yeah, it's on, testing. Does it look like it's too loud? All right, how do we check how do we check if the stream is up? My channel? Oh, it is up. All right, so it worked. We check and I can hear it. How do we check if the stream is okay? So okay, so it's working, and I'd like to pull up a screenshot of what I think this looks like it's forming into. A little bit of a pendant here. Well, let's see if it actually happens. This looks straight up, but yeah, could maybe go to the smiley face. All right, so speculating on Bitcoin is something that's fun and you can feel emotions of going up and down or whatever. But I wanted to think out loud for a little bit. I don't know if this is my own therapy or what, but I feel like if I stream and it just automatically records it and puts it on my YouTube channel, maybe I could just talk about fun things here. I don't even see the chat right now, so I have a I don't care. So sorry, but this is more for me to rewatch because it's really easy for me to get onto YouTube from anywhere and watch it because it's almost like no authentication. Yeah, you can just watch it without even being logged in. Um, I've been looking into like the M1 money supply. What is money? I've gotten to know what money was through my interests now, and I didn't spell supply right. But so, how many years off of 2020 are we now? We're on the fourth year after 2020, and we're into that year now. And wow, look at that. The amount of money out there, they say that it's actually gone down from what it was. Okay, so the other thing I want to look up is the Fed US interest payments on the debt, you know? Interest payments on its debt are set to exceed the defense. The what? The defense spending, or what is that? What was the title of that? It's set to exceed the defense spending. Should we be worried? We should do something about it. That worrying doesn't help with anything. Why interest payments have soared? Because the debt went up and because pay, the interest rate has gone up on everything. Okay, so this is the current expenditures in of interest payments. So when COVID happened, I understand this going down. So it was already going up. And when COVID happened, it went down because interest rates went to zero because it was an emergency. Uh-oh. It's not my problem, though. Shit. Did Eric like that? Oh, fuck. He was on 9 minutes ago. He's probably driving now. Fuck. I've finished my work for the day. I should go take more cases, but I took 3 today, so I don't know. I want to think out loud for 10 minutes and then I'm going to get off. Millions of dollars not seasonally adjusted. What does that mean? Annually. Shame. Shame. Okay, so yeah, we had to spend money in 2020. We had to give people money and whatnot. Now it's at 34. Oh wow. So it went up 10 trillion in 4 years. I mean, it's going to go up exponentially. So the total debt has gone up. The interest rate has gone up. And so our payments on interest rates, of course, are going to go up. How do they come back down? Well, they can come down like this when you lower interest rates. But at the same time, the debt went up by 3 trillion and 200 billion. So here's 2020. It Bitcoin's a little delayed, and of course it should be because it's speculative, it's risk on. But then people kind of say, well, where's it all going to go? The money has to go and get deployed and sit at places and then move around. But a lot of money turns to old money fast and just sits there. I wish I could drag over like a large part of it and delete it. So it took to the later half of 2020 for people to go, well, it's got to go somewhere. And then it came down as far as 15, 16, 17,000. Which is a nasty. That was the worst. That was the worst yet. And right now, let's match this same bullish pendant with these many touches. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The more touches, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not touching. Not touching. But 1, 2. Turnarounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wow, this day is gonna end too. I'm so tired, dude. Okay, so shit. So it went here. Wow. And it went to gold, I suppose, too. 2020. Yeah, dude. We are in a they're in a tough place, man. If they I don't know exactly what this if they lower it, they can. I think they have to keep raising the interest rate. What is our Fred interest rates? They can do whatever the fuck they want. They're the most volatile thing I've ever seen. I wasn't paying attention back here during all these things. 1980. Golly. Don't talk about this shit at work is all I have to remember to do. Oh, what the heck? What's this? Bro, wow. What year was this? 20, 2 years ago? Seven. Wow, it went up 45% in a couple of years. And people would, say this is a $3 billion in the 24 hours. It's not that much. Does this go back far ways? Oh, it's been up close to this in the past. I know we're at all-time highs, but wow. Gold. Kind of follows the market. Kind of looks like the stock market over the last 3 months or no, this was how long? Oh my God, never mind. This is 2012. Yeah, I zoomed way out. The last 3 months. Yeah, gold has only just been. Wow. Okay. So the M1 money supply. So it's like. Oh, are the money that we have to be able to pay it off? Is GDP. Is there Fred like taxes? Like, is there Fred taxes on GDP or income tax? That's interesting. Okay, so corporate profits after tax. So that's good. Our companies are still doing good. So our companies and our people are making more money. What? 94? Tax rates for regular tax highest bracket. What? You're telling me that the most rich people were paying 90% in taxes? 90% taxes? Okay. Should do my. Okay. Okay, so if interest, this is the amount the US pays, total public debt. They call it public debt, but this is like the federal debt that the government passes Congress bills on. My understanding, they pass bills to, you know, Donald Trump wrote us checks. They had to pass some bills, and they used all of the volume of the money under this line. Now, do we pay the bare minimum of our debt off every year? Federal funds. Where's our debt payments? This is our interest payments, and we don't. This is it. This is our interest payments. Oh, fuck. When's the next time we get another data point here? Can we ask this to Gemini or Bard or ChatGPT? When should we just use our language too? Never mind, never mind. When is the next data point for the federal government current expenditures interest payments? The data for federal government current expenditures interest payments is typically released quarterly. The most recent data available is usually for the previous quarter. Okay, I have to look something up real quick. I'll decide if I share this. This is starting to make, like, I haven't really looked at all this stuff too much, to be honest. Since today is April 9th, the most recent data point likely covers the last quarter of 2023. New data for the current quarter will likely be released in May or June. Here are some resources you can check. I'd like to know. Oh, shit. All right, so how are we going to hear about the next data point for the interest payments? The CBO estimates that the federal spending will increase 64% to 10 trillion in 2024, up from 6.14. Okay, so our debt's going to continue going up forever. If they continue to increase interest rates, then it will be harder to pay off our debt because our debt will get bigger faster. But also increasing interest rates makes it harder to pay off your debt because it's money is money's a little harder. Is it a little harder or is it a little easier? Money's easier. It's easier to take a loan out on a lower interest rate. It's harder to take a loan out, so it's harder to get more debt. But while they're doing this, they can increase the supply to pay off more debt. We should have never taken out debt. No one should probably have any debt, but maybe like Amazon's debt. Like how many years was Amazon in debt for? And maybe we are at Amazon. And maybe we'll elect that individual who will go real hard on the debt and the people, and he'll be able to communicate to the people, this is the best thing for you, for your children. Not everyone's having children right now. So not everyone is future thinking. Everyone's becoming more now, right now. And election politicians are getting elected for that. The writing of the check, that was a I got one. I got three. I got all of them. Maybe they I was like doing okay too, so in my head I was like, do I need this? How much is the check worth in Bitcoin right now? Well, they Amazon so Bard says Amazon paid it off early. Amazon prioritized the reinvestment. And so are we reinvesting into anything that will give us a return? Those checks did not return to the government. Some of them opted out too. I think a lot of them went into speculative bets or went into now. I want it now. Distractions from more government in this area does seem, like it's sketchy, especially from the very top of things. Like the social services that do help people, I thought they were pretty minimal and they provide lots of help. But shit, I don't know. I think that it's probably a good idea to have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything. So Bitcoin is now 1.359 trillion. But it's not worth more than silver. It was for a little bit, but not anymore. I think silver went up a little bit there. A $5,000 mattress. Shit, I'm probably cheap. I just bought a mattress. My back hurts too. I'll tell you what. It was from Costco. I mean, come on. I thought Costco didn't sell bad things. The market capitalization of silver is currently almost 1.6 thousand billion. Kind of wanted to look at the price of silver a little bit more closely to see what happened in the last amount of time. But why? I don't care. It's used. It has a real use case, but do we know how much silver there is and whatnot? I don't know. So what are we looking here? This is wow, so this is about to be 16 trillion. Kind of looks like a really healthy graph there. Microsoft looks even more healthy. People like 69. I think people like the number 69. Shit, I don't know. 170 is like, oh shit, 170 is high. 175. Oh, look at all this USA, USA. I hope USA, like, that's why we're in debt because look at this USA, USA. So maybe it's okay to be in debt so much, especially if other people are following us and using us. We're reinvesting into the people that use it. UK, Ireland, platinum. Costco, Oracle, database, Johnson and Johnson, Tencent. China company, China bans video games and shit, and Tencent. This has my favorite, I think probably my top two favorite video games. Oh shit, look at Ethereum. Wow, it's worth a lot. 420 billion. Jeez Louise. That's almost half of what Bitcoin's worth. Why? With an infinite supply too. And like maybe it's a security. MasterCard has zero overhead and they just kind of control the space with Visa. Wait, so didn't we just see Home Depot up here? If Home Depot's here, then uh, Lowe's is the MasterCard of Visa. Where's Lowe's? Where's Lowe's? What happened with Lowe's? Why is Home Depot so much more than Lowe's? What does Home Depot do that Lowe's doesn't? Or what does Home Depot provide for Lowe's compared to Home Depot? Who is bigger? How is evaluation compared? Home Depot is of higher quality. Why? Because I bought Ryobi actually, which is Home Depot, I guess. Home Depot is outperforming Lowe's every single year except 2020. The balance sheets are even better than people think, although there are some concerns for low. I don't that I don't care. I'm bored. Not really. I could read that more, but I just don't think it's I don't know. I don't want to really invest in either of them. It's retail. I mean, scale as far as you can into the future. People probably abstract themselves away from that. Most people. There are lots of people who love going. I mean, you have to go touch the wood before you buy it if you care about it. But and wood will, maybe it will be artificially made one day and then we'll all look perfectly the same. Wood today looks so different than way back when too. I mean, and if it's not all about wood, but certain kind of people go to the store and buy wood. The majority of people buy the repeatable crap that breaks, and they need to just go buy another one. And a lot of people are use that kind of online stuff. Maybe Lowe's doesn't have the online stuff, which they could get, because that's all repeatable too. And they could use Salesforce to do all that online stuff. And Salesforce uses Oracle. And Oracle uses, I mean, I'm probably passing other companies that it uses. Amazon. And Amazon uses, is Amazon at all dependent on, do you think Bard could answer that question? I think not. Any other company? Search ads. Comes from Google searches, making Amazon one of the world's biggest clients. Google's Android's operating systems for its hardware. The two companies rely on each other due to similar client practices. They all work together on many different things. I think everyone uses Oracle databases. I think everyone will or is already using AWS infrastructure. Besides for Google, they're probably trying to drink their own juice. Microsoft drinks their own juice with Azure. NVIDIA could make their own juice if they don't already have it, but they probably use one of those guys. Because those guys, it's kind of like plugging into everything else, but also providing like it's already done. I don't know. You have to pay them though. Apple probably has their own juice right now, and they could make one, and there would probably be lots of companies that would take it on tomorrow. Wow, look at ExxonMobil. All right, so down the line, real quick. Gold up. Microsoft is, I guess, gold too is up. Amazon's gold. Silver's gold. Nvidia is still kind of goldy. Google is just, people were so hard on Google. I don't like Facebook. I don't know. I just can't invest in it. I don't get it. It feels like a something that will pass. It's all Instagram. From the United States, I think. Look at oiled gold, Samsung. Oracle is just a realization on their reports. Chevron is gold, I guess. Platinum is gold. How long has Chevron been doing good for? Been some ups and downs, right? Ups and downs. The price went up, then it kind of came back down. Agriculture Bank of China. Roche. Novartis. Okay. Uber. Wow, Uber's in the top 100. A service. A taxi company. The democratization. Democ. Democratization. What is a word I'm trying to say? Dematerialize owning a car, but also I think this company might reduce the reason for Uber to continue or people to use Uber. Huh. This is becoming a long, boring video, but I'm not bored yet. I'm not bored yet. This is the halving month. So we did it. We made it. Most green candles ever. I mean, golly, we're supposed to see a couple red candles now. Come back down to like maybe 50. But it doesn't look like it's gonna. It doesn't look like it's gonna come back down to 50 if you just zoom in even on the week. Let's see. What is that line? Huh. Let's go to the day. Did I draw this? More like that. Yeah, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shit, dude. This looks pretty bullish. Kind of like maybe not even going below 68.5, but who knows? Have we already? Have we already gone below 68,500? Somewhere like right there. Oh yeah, we maybe already did. We went down to what? Did it touch 65,000 the other day? Wow, what day was that? April 2nd? It's like an April Fool's joke. People, oh, I bet people sold on April. They probably felt bad. Look at this. Is this one day here? April 8th? That's yesterday. No. Dude, that's yesterday. I want to go back to the day chart. Oh, this day, dude, people sold on March 19th. If they would have waited till the next day, it would have gone from 62 to 67, $5,000, man. We are gonna see $10,000 candles. 3 days it went up $10,000. That's like a 10,000. Look at this, 59. That's a $10,000 candle. It's just in the red. Look at that. That's a $10,000 candle. Wow, dude. Wow. And now people probably won't even get hurt and stuff anymore because they can't even afford. One Bitcoin is not something the majority of people can afford right now. Buying a Bitcoin, ooh, it would take me years and years and years and years to buy a Bitcoin responsibly, right? And even then, I don't know, man. Like, what can you buy with $69,000? Like a really nice car. Maybe a down payment on a house. Yeah. Show me a house. Dude, let's use our mic actually. Hey Gemini, show me a house that's you could buy um, with a down payment of $69,000. What would the house look like, or what size, how many beds and bathrooms? Can you show me a picture, please? Or give me a link to a picture? Let's see what Gemini shares with us. Okay, I don't, there aren't such things as houses that look like that for 230,000. But this may be something that is on the East Coast as well. I don't think there are townhouses like that. Maybe there's a townhouse like that that's a few hours outside of town for 200,000, 250,000. That's right. Yeah, I don't. I'm realizing with interest rates up, you can't really. Fuck. Hey, this house is less than a million. But this is Seattle, dude. You can't look at Seattle. That's crazy. Well, forget I can talk to him. Well, what the heck can I buy for $69,000 that will improve my life? Lifestyle. Okay, you can go to college. You can improve a house, but you probably don't have a house if you're asking what to buy. You can make a move or travel. All right. Don't get financial advice from Gemini, by the way. Crazy. All right. Well, I think it'll be fun to at least check in until this bad chart breaks or it doesn't like work anymore. Here's the actual one I had. Let's see. So this is the day. This line here indicates the day the halving. Which is it still going to be on the 20th? And like, who cares about the halving? I think it's going to go down. I think this is all going to go down. I want to. What are the biggest cons? Like, what's the count? What's the counter argument? What is the counter argument against Bitcoin? What are the most popular reasons to not buy Bitcoin? Volatility. That's so interesting. That's the fun part. That's the thing that's exciting. I mean, people have to ask themselves, what is money and where can I change, I'm spending 20 bucks a month on a haircut. Well, then maybe what could I do differently? Like, no, I need to probably go get professional haircuts, but someone spends $12 a month on cigarettes. What if they took that $12 a month on cigarettes and put it into Bitcoin? That is such a small amount of money. But like, imagine it just continues to perform for the next 10 years. That might be, it might turn into a down payment. It's just like, it's volatile. And Michael Saylor says that's life force. Environmental impact. Genuinely, difficult to calculate. So the question is, it requires a massive amount of energy, and say they're saying it's often not renewable resources that raises concerns about the environmental sustainability. Interesting that an AI bot that is using a large amount of energy for this use case, right? That's rather entertaining. I like talking to it. Um, how much energy is too much energy for something that may be more important than what this thing is doing? And is this thing using more energy? Likely. Likely it is. Scalability issues. The Bitcoin network can only process a limited number of transactions per second, and this can lead to a slow transaction times and high fees. Henry, it's adoption. Is it a payment system if it is looked at like property right now? So, yeah, I don't know how many thousand transactions are included in every 10-minute block, but it's actually gotten better with new developments slowly over time because there isn't like it is limited to the physics of this world because Bitcoin is virtual yet restricted to the physical limitations of this world. And and that's what the trade-off is. The trade-off is some scalability. So maybe it's not a currency. Bitcoin Core is maybe, yes, not a currency for the trade-off of being secure and semi-private. By semi-private, I mean just like it's like cash in a sense that it's once you have the cash, it is anonymous until you are not anonymous anymore. It's kind of hard to not be anonymous though because there's know your customer KYC. Regulation. Bitcoin operates outside the traditional finance system, which can make it vulnerable to government regulation or crackdowns. So, the United States, China, Russia, Great Britain, all of these countries, actually trying to think, there's a few countries I can name that don't have um, property rights, but Russia, China, US, all these countries have property rights. And Bitcoin is classified, just like the scalability issue, it's classified as property in all these countries. It's not a currency, it's classified as property. So, unlike your house that you own, you actually pay taxes on your property every year and it goes up every year. But and you pay taxes when you sell it. You only pay taxes when you sell it since Bitcoin is rather unique. If they tax it as a currency, there wouldn't be a tax. Um, yeah, I think we've already passed the regulation. We just had a Bitcoin ETF that was crazy. And lots of people got fooled when they said it's going to be a buy. It's going to be a what? A buy the news, sell the rumor, or buy the rumor, sell the news. Well, it goes up forever, Laura. Security risks. Bitcoin wallets and exchanges can be hacked, leading to the loss of your investment. Additionally, due to the anonymity, Bitcoin can be used for illegal activities. Well, you're anonymous until you aren't. And if you use an exchange in the US, you're not anonymous. And if you have a Bitcoin wallet from way in the past and you choose to do illegal activities with it, that's that's more of a risk. Ah, Bitcoin, I'm not sure if this is true actually. I'm not sure how a Bitcoin wallet can be hacked unless you expose it. So you can expose yourself. You can put your cash on the table and then they allow you can allow yourself to be stolen from is how it should said. But properly, a Bitcoin wallet cannot be hacked. It that's it like mathematically it is possible to guess 24 words in the order that they are in, but it's unlikely. What is that? The power to something. It's very unlikely. Um, this is very true. Exchanges can and will be hacked. So, yeah, you definitely need to learn how to custody your own Bitcoin before you really start putting real money into it, I think. And that's an idea why the Bitcoin ETF could be the reason for the 90%, 80%, 50%, whatever, the big drop that happens, the crypto winter that may come in the next 18 months. I don't know. The lack of intrinsic value. So this is typically the first one I hear. So it says, unlike gold or precious metals, Bitcoin doesn't have any inherent value. It's purely based on what people are willing to pay for it. And that's what makes it the most volatile because this is a network consensus that's driven by an opt out of this failing society kind of idea, like doomers, It's kind of like this doomer situation. But it works. Like there it has very low downtime. It has like zero, but there was this one time where they had to make an update to Bitcoin, a hot update. So it's like 99.99999 or something. So it's always up. You can always use it. Um, Worst case scenario, if you send an appropriate amount of sats per byte, it's going to take a few minutes for your transaction to go through. Right now, there's a one city in one country that's using layer 2 technologies, specifically Lightning Network, and it's working halfway decent. There's other layer 2s that they're talking about, Liquid and whatnot. But we don't have to use Bitcoin to buy coffee. We're smart as a people. We can figure something out. We can look at Bitcoin and say that, let's pull up the white paper real quick. So I'm not going to go to bitcoin.org, by the way. And I really don't want to go to this .gov site either. But I'm going to open it. I don't really want to open that one. I wanted to open up. Oh, no, 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 no. That's the one that's good, actually. The .com one. Actually, I don't know. I got to think about this. One of these is owned by like Roger Ver. And it doesn't matter. They're probably all the same. So, even just reading the abstract, a purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another. I really think the word allow is in there for a reason. It would allow, but who's going to really want to do that? To be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial system, institution. And maybe people want to do it to send $1 to see what is that like. And there's a mempool, and if everybody did it at the same time, your transaction would not go through. Okay, and maybe everybody could do it at the same time on Visa or MasterCard, but that's fine. this is a store of value. So let's find out where he says a store of value. Let's find out where he says unable to be, it's resilient and immutable and unable to be taken. Let's read this. It would allow payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. Digital signatures provide part of the solution, but the main benefits are lost if a trusted third party is still required to prevent double spending. We propose a solution to the double spending problem using peer-to-peer network. And the network timestamps transactions by hashing them onto an ongoing chain of hash-based proof of work, forming a record that cannot be changed without redoing the proof of work. The longest chain not only serves as proof of the sequence of events witnessed, but proof that it came from the largest pool of CPU power. As long as a majority of CPU power is controlled by nodes that are not cooperating to attack the network, they'll generate the longest chain How do the nodes control CPU power? I thought miners was CPU power. Because nodes are the verifying the transactions is what I thought. So the longest chain, I always learn something new when I read this. It's been a while. I learned from other things, not from this document. Because this document is intense, dude. It gets harder and harder as you go. The longest chain not only serves as a proof of sequence. The longest chain right now is the Bitcoin, is the number one. Proof of sequence of events witnessed, but proof that it came from the largest pool of CPU power. Why does it being the longest chain really matter that much? Every old transaction gets verified by downloading the node again. So a node, what's the size of the Bitcoin network right now? I couldn't download it on this computer. I don't have like 60 gigs right now. Let's read that again. The longest chain not only serves as proof of sequence of events witnessed, which that part I understand of nodes, but proof that it came from the largest pool of CPU power. How is the node and the miner tied together like that? Because they're communicating. How do they communicate, by the way? Like without API calls or something. Because it's just the same. It's not, is it even really a network? How do they communicate, dude? Like at the bottom layer of it, I don't really know. As long as the majority of CPU power is controlled, but I've used it, as I've used every part of it. As long as the majority of CPU power is controlled by nodes. Controlled? How is it controlled? By nodes. Because the node will kick it off because of the Byzantine general problem, the agreement. The nodes will agree to kick off a bad worker are not cooperating to attack the network. They'll generate the longest chain and outpace attackers. The network itself requires minimal structure. Messages are broadcast on a best effort basis. It's controlled by nodes that are not cooperating to. and they'll outpace attackers. And that's the part that means, this needs to be able to run on a Raspberry Pi. And the network itself requires minimal structure. Messages are broadcast on a best effort basis, and nodes can leave and rejoin the network at will, accepting the longest proof of work chain as proof of what happened while they were gone. The first node ever was probably not running anymore. So transactions are grouped on the blocks. So we define an electronic coin as a chain of digital signatures. Okay, I've been streaming for an hour. Each owner transfers the coin to the next by digitally signing a hash of the previous transaction and the public key of the next owner. By adding these to the end of the coin. So the next to the next by digitally signing a hash of the previous transaction and the public key of the next owner and adding them to the end of the coin. The problem is, of course, is the payee can't verify that one of the owners did not double spend the coin. So a common solution is to introduce third party or a central authority, trusted central, or mint that checks every transaction for double spending. After each transaction, the coin must be returned to the mint to issue a new coin. And only coins issued directly from the mint are trusted not to be double spent. That problem with this solution is that the fate of the entire money system depends on the company running the mint, with every transaction having to go through them, just like a bank. We need a way for the payee to know that the previous owners did not sign any earlier transactions. For our purposes, the earliest transaction is the one that counts. So we don't care about later attempts to double spend. So we need a way for the payee, the person to get, so the person that's about to get paid needs to know that where it's coming from didn't send it to someone else and then try to send it to them. And the so for our purposes, the oldest the oldest transaction is the one that counts. So we don't care about later attempts to double spend. So the only way to confirm the absence of a transaction is to beware of all transactions. So blockchain. So in the mint based model, the mint was aware of all transactions and publicly and decided which arrived first. To accomplish this without a trusted party, transactions must be publicly announced. Public ledger. We need a system for participants to agree on a single history of the order in which they were received. The person that needs to get paid needs proof that at the time of each transaction, the majority of nodes agreed it was the first received. So you check. You check the ledger, the nodes. You check that the nodes all agreed. Agreeable nodes. Nonce. Incentive. By convention, the first transaction is a special transaction that starts a new coin owned by the creator of the block. Does he use the word miner or anything? This adds an incentive for nodes to support the network and provides a way to initially distribute coins into circulation, since there's no central authority to issue them. The steady addition of a constant amount of new coins was analogous, and analogous to gold miners expanding resources to add gold to circulation. In our case, it is CPU time and electricity that is expended. The incentive can also be funded with transactions. So constant isn't true today. The steady addition of a constant. What? That's not even proper sentence. This the steady addition of a constant of amount of new coins is analogous to gold. All right, I think he's just talking about how, hey, this is a similar property to gold, but of amount, what? In our case, it is CPU time and electricity that exists expended, and the incentive can also be funded with transaction fees. So when it all runs out, if the output value of a transaction is less than its input value, the difference is a transaction fee. Okay, when we're talking about the amount of money going out of your wallet is less than what was put in, then you pay a transaction fee that is added to the incentive value of the block containing the transaction. It can be completely inflation free. When's the latest transaction? Okay, let me read this off. The incentive can, I just read this, once a predetermined amount of coins. The incentive can also be funded with transaction fees. Yeah, so when all 21 million then are finished, the rewarding, the amount being released to circulation will stop, and this will work with just transaction fees. That is added to the incentive value of the block containing the transaction. Once a predetermined number of coins have entered circulation, the incentive can transition entirely to transaction fees and can be completely inflation free. The incentive may help encourage nodes to stay honest. Because if a greedy attacker is able to assemble more CPU power than all the honest nodes, he would have to choose between using it to defraud people by stealing back his payments. Okay, so I think every miner has to have his own node, and anybody that wants to send it has to have a node. You have to have a node to use it. It's just not explicitly said, but that makes sense, you know. And like I knew it, but I don't know if I've ever said that out loud. There's some people have talked about a way that you don't have to have a full node to be able to send a transaction, but I don't know about that security and privacy of that. So if the block header with no transactions would be 80 bytes, suppose blocks are generated every 10 minutes, 80 bytes times 6 times 24. Why is it times 6 times 24 times 365 equals 4.2 megabytes per year? Okay, if that's true, then what's the size? Is that gigabytes? I have how much? It doesn't matter what I have. Okay, so how much does, you know, 512 or what does 1 terabyte cost? Probably a hard disk drive is probably okay. That seems kind of expensive, actually. Best Buy is not the place to buy things like this. How much is the Seagate one? $24. I don't know off the top of my head, but um, you can use a hard disk drive. Don't you ever start a node with a Ah, so that gentleman is saying that the you it's actually you're verifying every single transaction when you start downloading the Bitcoin network in a node, you know. So did I read all this? Okay, yeah, he's saying that this is gonna be okay. Looks a little, but it's not bad, you know. I think inflation made it look like it was really expensive. I don't know. I haven't bought things. All right, I think I'm gonna take a break or skip this stuff. And this was my ramble, thinking out loud. I guess. Fuck it. Whatever. Would love to come back and regularly. That's not gonna stay green. We gotta keep going down a little bit more. Oh, I just realized. Yeah, we finished the day. We finished the day. Maybe that was it though. You know, I don't really know. Be like this. No, it can't be, dude. It can't be. Can't be. Really looks a lot more like this. Well, that could be it. And then it's just. Wait a second. So this could come down here, right? I don't know. Nobody knows. I'll check back in. I don't know. Probably tomorrow, but I don't know if I'll make a video.